Hi friends, my name is Leon and I'm 8 years old. I love telling stories from the Bible in a fun and easy way. Today's story is from the New Testament, from the book of Luke, chapter 5, 1 to 11. And from the book of Matthew, chapter 4, 18 to 22. Let's begin. Friends, can you guess today's story? Today's story is Jesus calls his first disciples. Let's begin. One bright morning, Jesus walked along the shore of the Sea of Galilee. Friends, what is the name of the sea? The Sea of Galilee. The sun sparkled on the water and the fishermen were busy cleaning their nets after a long night of fishing. Among them was Simon Peter and his brother Andrew. They were tired and disappointed. Friends, why were they tired and disappointed? Because they worked hard all night but caught nothing. Just then, Jesus stepped into Peter's boat and asked, "Peter, can you move the boat a little bit out from the shore? I want to teach the people." Peter agreed. Jesus sat down on the boat and began preaching. His words filled the air with peace and hope. Everyone listened quietly, and even the waves seemed calm. Friends, are you still watching? Keep watching, because now is the interesting part of the story. When Jesus finished teaching the people, he turned to Peter and said, "Now go out to the deep sea and let down your nets for a big catch." Peter blinked in surprise and said, "Master, we have fished all night but caught nothing. But because you said so, I will let down the net." Peter and Andrew threw their nets into the deep water, and suddenly it began to shake and pull. Shake and pull. It was so strong that the nets began to tear. So many fish filled the net that it began to tear. Peter shouted for help, and his friends, James and John, the sons of Zebedee, came quickly in another boat. Together, they pulled in a heavy net, and they started laughing because the boat ships were so full that they almost began to sink. Peter kneeled before Jesus and said, "Lord, I am not worthy to stand near you." Jesus smiled kindly and said, "Don't be afraid. From now on, you will fish for people." That meant that Jesus was calling them to help bring people to God's love. Share the good news with everyone. When the boat reached shore, Peter, Andrew, James, and John left everything and began to follow Jesus. They didn't know what would happen next, but They trusted in Jesus completely. That is called faith. And that was the beginning of the team of Jesus. The first disciple of Jesus. The first disciple who will help him change the world. Friends, now are you still listening? Now it's time for the lesson for all the kids watching this video. We can always say yes to Jesus, even if we can't understand it fully. Obedience brings blessings. Peter obeyed Jesus and his net overflowed with fish. Jesus wants each of us to help him share his love. That's how we can be his disciple today. That's all for today's story, friends. Friends, please like and subscribe and share with care with your friends and family to spread the word of God. Bye.